Being diagnosed with a blood cancer like leukemia, lymphoma, or myeloma makes people want more time to do the things they love. That means more time to be movie buffs, jazz collectors, teammates, and grandparents. We are Blood Cancer United. Since our founding in 1949, we've been the world's leading organization focused solely on blood cancer research, support, and advocacy. We do the most for more people with blood cancer, so people with blood cancer can do more of whatever they want. Blood Cancer United. Join us and donate today at bloodcancerunited.org.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We're live in downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. Busy, very busy Thursday show coming up. As usual, Paul Charchian, his weekly appearance coming up in 30 minutes. We'll talk about fantasy for this week, player props that he likes tonight, and for Sunday as well. Professional bettor Frank B. The timing of him being in studio today could not have worked out better. He's in town for the annual Blackjack Ball. You'll learn more about that coming up in an hour, but also like the perfect guy to talk to about this Rozier and Billups story, which we're going to get into here in a minute. And we will get best bets in soccer from Steve Wiss. So that's coming up a little bit later on in the show. Paulie, this story that dropped much earlier in the morning, it feels like an earthquake that took place. And tremors are still being felt several hours later and from thousands of miles away, because the longer the day goes on, the more we're learning about what took place with both Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups. And as you tweeted much earlier today, this is right out of a movie. And how about the timing of this now? After the true opening night for the NBA, I think we, like most of us in the sports betting racket, like we've been waiting for the shoe to drop on Terry Rozier now for a while, right? For several months. But nobody saw this coming. The day after the real opening day, along with Chauncey Billups and then Damon Jones as well. And oh, by the way, it's like mafia involved as well. It crosses over 11 different states. Billups is a Hall of Famer. Rozier, Jones bringing up, LeBron's name, potentially Anthony Davis as well, and telling people, go get down on this big time so I can eat as well. Unbelievable day today. And it could not have gone worse for the NBA.
Stunned. Yep. Certainly they don't care about what goes on in a poker room in someone's basement, illegal card game. But when you have coaches and assistant coaches leaking information about Lillard and LeBron James, shenanigans allegedly with what Chauncey Billups is in the Hall of Fame. What's he doing talking to the Gambino and Bonanno crime family? How does this even happen where he is the, quote, face card and the big draw to get these guys into these underground poker games where it can give them credibility, and then these guys get money stolen from them because the game's not on the up and up, and then the mob comes in as enforcers and threatens to beat the hell out of them unless they pay and get their money, and one guy alone lost $1.8 million in these games. To your point about this is right out of a movie, X-ray machines built into tables to read face-down cards, contact lenses, glasses to read pre-marked cards, secret cameras in card trays, cameras in the chandeliers, Billups the draw, Jones the draw, and Rozier to get these guys in there. And everyone was in on it except the guys are the fish, but even the dealers and everyone knew this was a fixed poker game. Oh, this is bad day for the NBA. It's unbelievable that I can't believe a coach right now who was arrested at his home at 6 a.m. after a game is involved with the mafia and then also calling his buddies, oh, by the way, Damian Lillard, who is probable right now, as I talked to you, will not play.
Yep. That, and also they blew a game last night in which they led the entire way. I know that this is probably just a coincidence, and somehow, some way, the Timberwolves covered like one of the numbers that was available for a lot of the day. Don't let that get lost. I don't think anything probably happened last night, but the Blazers were in control until the fourth quarter of that game last night, or led pretty much the entire time. And then this is how much the story has evolved, because people who I follow on X, and they cover this kind of stuff professionally for a living, 5 or 6 hours ago said, well, at least it looks like Billups was not involved in sports betting. Well, that turns out to be wildly incorrect, because in the indictment, when you go back to March 24th, 2023, Billups is actually not named, but he was co-conspirator number 8. At the time, they were 32-40. They were out of playoff contention. 10 games were remaining. So this co-conspirator told the defendant, Eric Ernest, that the Blazers were going to be tanking to increase their odds of getting a better draft pick in the upcoming draft.
This is when the tank started.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe again, Billups wasn't point shaving in that game, but he told people who could get down a lot of money under that scenario. And I'm also seeing like a tweet that came in from somebody who covers this, covers gambling professionally. This is Sam McQuillan. So when you look at that indictment on that date, $100,000 plus hit books before the line move, and went from 2.5 to plus 7.5, and the Blazers lost the game 124-96. 6 players, including their top 4 scorers, sat out with kind of ridiculous injuries.
Yeah, that night Lillard's probable. He doesn't play. He doesn't play the rest of the season. The Blazers go 2-15. That's the timeline.
There is also a game, and I'm almost positive that we talked about this in win-lose, and I'm quite sure I had a bet on Portland in this game.
Yeah, I think you had it. They were hot. Yes.
Portland was catching, this was last year. March. They were playing the Celtics, and Portland was catching 8.5, and the team fouled twice in the final 4 seconds. I remember I was hot about that. I talked to JVT as we were crossing over here as the show ended. He was pissed off too, because he also was on the Blazers in that game. Funny business? I think yes.
Everything comes into question. Going back, minutes played. Why are you fouling down 8 with 5 seconds left twice?
I'll give you another one with Billups, by the way.
The other thing, it's like Dan Wetzel tweeted, though. Number 1, don't get involved in these underground poker games because they're not on the up and up. But number 2, if you owe the mafia a favor and they call in that favor, or Jonte Porter, Rozier, Chauncey Billups, it's nuts here. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so there is somebody on X who has like 330 followers. And now this tweet from January 30th has taken off and has more than 3,000 retweets today. And he tweeted out, why is Deni Avdija playing 4 minutes in the first quarter with 4 laughing emojis? Avdija came on like gangbusters last year. He was absolutely fantastic. And then he quote tweeted it and said, if Terry Rozier is being investigated, Chauncey Billups needs to as well. Deni Avdija has played 35, 39, 34, 38, and 38 minutes in 5 of his last 6. In the other one, he played 26, which was also conveniently against the Magic. Billups clearly deciding to bet under on him versus Orlando. Played that many minutes, and then all of a sudden, Avdija's going to sit and play not many minutes in this game tonight. This doesn't look good.
No, it's like what you said earlier. The thinking was, well, he's just involved in these underground poker games. No big deal, but it's getting worse for Billups. We knew about the Rozier stuff, as we talked about with David Purdom. How did the NBA clear him in their own investigation, by the way?
Yeah, right.
But more on that coming up. But the other thing is, why is Billups involved in these games? He was sent a wire of $50,000 after they had one winning session. Of course, you're going to win every session. The fact that he's involved with the mafia and he's in these, the face card where these poker games were in the Hamptons, Manhattan, Las Vegas, and Miami. Once the fish lost, the mafia used extortion and violence to make sure they paid their debts. Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese crime families One victim alone lost $1.8 million. Victims believed they were sitting at a fair table. Instead, they were cheated out of millions. Text messages between the defendants carried out the scheme, showing that one game here in Vegas in April of 2019, Billups was winning so many improbable hands with the help of a rigged shuffling machine that his people organizing this told them, you have to lose at least to make this look good, because you're winning every single hand and it looks absolutely ridiculous, which they wouldn't even, at that point it's like, well, a guy has to know. Every bluff he catches me, every hand is, and it's,
Sure.
I just can't believe that this guy.
So he wasn't just the face card then. He wasn't just a magnet to get other people to play.
Yeah.
He was sitting down himself.
And then you have Damon Jones.
Paulie, one second here. Yeah. That's right out of Rounders.
That's right.
That's at the very end where they're playing the cops. And Worm
That's right.
is caught, right? Hey, Sarge, I caught a hanger here.
Yeah.
And he's.
Let's see if it helps him out.
He's got Mike and D face cards, and Mike and D's like, Jesus Christ, man, what are you doing? I got to fold another hand.
Uh-huh.
You got to stop doing that. You can't make it look so obvious.
That's exactly right. And that's obviously you're thinking, well, I'm playing in a fixed game here. How can this guy have it every single time and win? Well, it's like in Casino with Pesci's character. But the X-rays see the cards, the cameras, and the chandeliers, unbelievable. And then you also had Damon Jones, who was passing along info when he was working with the Lakers about the LeBron James thing, where they were playing Milwaukee, and the info wasn't out there, and he told his people, hey, LeBron's not going to play. He didn't, and Milwaukee won and covered. So Billups doing with the Lillard stuff, LeBron involved, at least with passing information on him as well. And this is now what happens with the Blazers. Their head coach he's going to appear in court today.
Well, he's done.
Guy just got arrested. Now you got the Splitter as the assistant coach taking over now. They just had their first game.
A Hall of Famer.
I know.
Played on that unbelievable team
Mr.
with
Big
the Pistons.
Shot.
Absolutely, right? That kind of a career, and then it's over with. Done. And their season just started with one game in the books after last night. You got to be kidding me with that. By the way, think about how extravagant the Mafia was to have everything like that. They went that far. They thought of you think of something, I can match that and come up with another idea that we have to do. In the chandeliers, underneath.
I know, right?
I mean, the cell phones, the quarterbacks at the table, and then signaling in another way.
Yep. That is excellent about how it would be carried out. Where you got one guy, the quarterback then would see the cards. He texts the guy at the table, and then they tell him what to do there, or what the cards are, and then you're just going to win every hand essentially at that point.
Oh yeah, yep. I loved Doug Kazarian's tweet earlier today. Too bad David Stern's not still alive, so he could blame it on one rogue person.
Yes, that was Donaghy. Rest assured, it was only one guy. Yes.
Much more in this coming up, including some of the damning audio that the New York City Police Commissioner was saying today. It's Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network.
At Boar's Head, we make game day entertaining elevated and effortless. Whether you order catering platters ahead from your local deli or create your own spread with premium deli meats and cheeses, you're sure to impress your guests with the very best. Fan favorites like Oven Gold Turkey, paired with our classic Vermont cheddar, are sure to score big. Game-winning flavor in every bite. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
Did you know that skincare can start in the laundry room? All Free Clear is the #1 laundry detergent brand recommended by dermatologists, allergists, and pediatricians for sensitive skin. All Free Clear is 100% free of dyes and perfumes. It provides an effective clean that's gentle on skin while removing impurities like dirt and body oil without leaving irritating residues. Plus, All Free Clear liquid is Safer Choice certified by the U.S. EPA. For a clean you can feel good about, all you need is All Free Clear.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. Thanks for watching today on YouTube TV, listening Sirius XM channel 158, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio as well. We will talk to Paul Charchian coming up in 15 minutes. He has given out 3 consecutive anytime touchdown scorers that have cashed on Thursday Night Football. We'll find out who he likes in this game coming up tonight. A lot on this big story today involving Terry Rozier. Chauncey Billups was the one that blindsided a lot of people. And as we're getting tweets right now, at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard, what about Gilbert Arenas? That had been like a month ago. Nothing to see here? He's going to skate free? Was this not the same thing? Remember, that was Arenas and the Mafia as well, with poker games.
Well, A-Rod was involved in those too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of big-time players. So the Molly's Game movie, and there was a lot of big players in New York City who were involved in these games. And this one, the poker game was Operation Royal Flush. The Rozier stuff with the prop betting is Operation Nothing But Bet with the names. But it goes back to, clever, huh? It goes back to right out of the Sopranos episode where you got, Tony running it and Chrissy is there and you got the food there. And if you want the girls, they're over in that side room. Why a Hall of Famer and current NBA head coach, Mr. Big Shot, is the face card in trying to draw in big-time players to play a poker game where it's rigged. I don't understand why Chauncey. Can you imagine? Hey, Mitch, it's the Genovese crime family, line 1. Oh, I got to take it. I'm dying to hear what they have to say. And you get caught up in this scam.
Sure. Well, it's stuck big time, yeah.
The other thing is, the Porter thing I understand. He made $400,000. He was stuck. This is his way of trying to get out of it, whatever he was doing. I also blame sports books. Why were there props offered on Porter, and why are you letting people get down big money for that? It goes back to Clase and Ortiz. Why is first pitch of an inning ball strike and you're taking big limits? That's ridiculous. But why is Chauncey Billups, who's made a ton of money in this situation, Rozier is making $26 million a year.
Yeah.
He's made over $100 million in his career. And he's telling his buddies, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to go out early with an injury in this game. And they get down $200,000.
He signed a 4-year, $100 million deal. And you have to go back and check out the tweet that I retweeted from.
Oh, it's bad.
I mean, he deleted his Instagram, and somebody, I think it's the Hater Report on X, good name, they put together a spliced video of one game from Rozier.
Yeah, the Cavs game.
It's honestly, if you're watching the game live and you don't know any better, you're thinking to myself, I think this guy's up to kind of no good, right?
Air balls, ridiculous turnovers. It looked like me out there if I put the shoes on and went out.
Right. So this is earlier today, New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch on the Rozier incident, and listen to how much money was involved here.
One example occurred on March 23rd, 2023 in Charlotte. Terry Rozier, an NBA player now with the Miami Heat, but at the time playing for the Hornets, allegedly let others close to him know that he planned to leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics. Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit. The proceeds were later delivered to his home, where the group counted their cash.
Are we serious? They went back to his home and they were counting the cash? They have that? They know that for sure? And that's after, again, so the first report came out that 6 people basically were betting, making these big bets combined for like $200,000. There had to be more people. Or, like you were saying, because we did hear that sports books are, quote, the victim here. Are they?
Yes, that's what they said today.
Are they? And by the way, was it like legal sports books? How much of this was offshore? Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't stand it when I spin and spin and spin when I try to get a couple $100 on a player prop. And then it's rejected and I'm offered $4.17. So that happens to everybody. They were able to get down $200,000 in all unders, and the books were like, no problem here because of what, VIP players that they have? Because they've lost a lot of money, and they're like, okay, we'll give you whatever you want.
I wouldn't say, I would say it's the poor people who thought they were going into a poker game that was legitimate. They're the victims. I mean, everyone knows the fish thought it was on the up and up, and everyone in that room knew it was dirty and what was going on. You're right about how sophisticated it was, too. About they thought of everything. and then you had an off-site operator sent the info back to the person on a cell phone at the table who was the quarterback and would signal the info they received to others at the table. And with the poker chip tray analyzers, this is right out of a James Bond movie. The special contact lenses, glasses to read the cards, X-ray tables that could read the cards face down. I mean, this is so elaborate, and it's just, I can't believe Chauncey Billups is in that room in the face guard. I can't believe it. What are you doing? You're in a Hall of Fame. You're coaching the Portland Trail Blazers. How did it get to this point?
How many times did you have to read it today before you're like, wait, what, Chauncey Billups?
Yeah, and it's just getting worse. You're right.
I can't understand. What, him? Really?
Yes. And then to think you're picking up the phone to all these people, and Lillard's out tonight. Lillard's not playing, and it got to that point.
Sure. Guys, can we fire up that audio on the U.S. Attorney talking about Billups and Jones in the poker scheme to give yeah, here you go. This is Joseph Nocella talking about that exact thing earlier today.
Beginning as early as 2019, the defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach.
Can you imagine getting that validation today if you were in that room and you lost all that money?
Yeah. It happened to Mike Matusow. He'd be great on this. And also Helmuth. It was that, what's the guy's name? Rex, whatever. I forgot his name. Ultimate Bet, whatever the scandal was on poker, that they could see the hole cards. And it ruined Matusow. It killed his confidence. But the guy knew what he had every single hand, and he took him for a ton of money.
Right.
And the damage that it did to Matusow.
Mentally, yeah.
About it.
To try to get over that.
Yeah. He's like, I thought, now I'm a bad player all of a sudden. I lose every single hand. Something's not right. And what it did to his confidence and his game and his mental, everything upstairs. And it's like, yeah, he was, the guy was cheating, and Matusow didn't know it.
Let's hear one more time from the U.S. Attorney earlier today as he rattled off some of the teams in the NBA. I think we have this one where he gets the name wrong of a team. Oh, anyway, so I'll just tell you, he was rattling off like 4 or 5 different NBA teams, and he called them the Toronto Rangers.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I've lost a lot of money. I think they maybe misspelled the name. Can I get my money back on that? I thought I was betting the Toronto Raptors. No, it's the Rangers. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Well, the Rozier's no surprise. Again, I don't understand how the NBA did their own investigation and cleared the guy.
How is that possible?
They also had his cell phone. Yeah, I know. But then all the digging here and what Rozier has done, and just you knew it was fishy what he did. And it came out that it was true that he was tipping off his buddies. I'm going to leave this game with an injury, bet the under. And that's exactly what happened. And how many times did it happen? I don't know.
I'd like to get some details on the investigation there by the NBA.
Yeah, that reeks of Stern. After Donaghy.
Absolutely,
it's just one guy went rogue. That's it.
Yep. No, nothing to see here. I promise you, we have our best people on the case. And we did, countless hours of digging. We talked to everybody. Nope, couldn't find anything. The guy's good to go. Mm-hmm. Really? Good job, guys, because you missed everything on this. And we're also getting, feedback from people saying, like, this is why you can't really blame people when they watch professional outfits and they think something funny's going on and they always cry like it looks like it's rigged. Now, I don't want to go down that path because
we got 3 examples over 50 years. College, yes, I expect that to happen.
Right.
But pro, I just think it's the Porter thing, Rozier, and this, and I will say it's interesting to see what happens from here now. Do they just eliminate unders on props? Well,
sure.
Some states do that.
Right.
But it comes back to limits too, I think, and what you hit on it earlier.
That's outrageous.
Why could these guys win millions, $1 million or six figures on Jonte Porter, a guy never heard of until the incident.
Exactly right. I know this
right?
one here, $200,000 plus on, again, how many people? If it's only 6, I doubt that number's accurate. Come on. You can't allow that to happen.
Yeah. And this stuff is too easy to manipulate, too.
It also reminds me of the guy last week. Sorry to cut you off. Jared Goff, 5,000 anytime, first touchdown scorer of the game. Clearly, the guy had some information, but how is he allowed to get 5,000 on a first touchdown score, especially at 90-1? Fantasy Football Hall of Famer Paul Charchian on the program coming up next. 6 teams featuring a lot of important players on bye this week. Who can we still find on the waiver wire to fill the void?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
VSiN Pro subscribers have exclusive access to our new AI player prop projections powered by OptAI, the same trusted brand behind elite soccer analytics in the UK, data-driven projections for quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. And with the NBA season underway, VSiN offering a limited-time free preview of our new NBA player prop projections. It's awesome, phenomenal. Check them out, VSiN.com/NFL props. Big Thursday night game coming up, VSiN.com/NFL props. And thanks to Tom Collins, Russ Hamilton was the poker guy who got Mattisau good and was
very good.
Could see hole cards, cheated him.
Yeah, I promise we're going to get back to that story, the Rozier, Billups, Damon Jones story, several times over the next 2.5 hours on this program. But there is a Thursday night football game to get to, and also a huge week in fantasy as Fantasy Football Hall of Famer Paul Charchian makes his weekly appearance now on the Progressive Guest Line. Charch, good afternoon. Pleasure to talk to you as always. I remember in a couple of drafts that I had this year, I kept drafting, which at the time I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a great team. And then I kept looking, I'm like, wait, that's another player on a week 8 bye. And that's another player on a week 8 bye. I'm like, well, I'm just going to suck it up. Yes. I'll have a bad week 8. Here we are. It's week 8. I don't want to face the consequences of my draft. So I'm a little bit stuck, as are a lot of people, right? But so with so many teams being on a bye featuring a ton of important fantasy players, like, is there anybody out there right now that we should be streaming this week?
Well, it's hard. You got all the injuries, you got all the bye weeks, so there's not a ton of options. But I'll give you a player at each position that I think you could use. You're really in a pinch, a quarterback, really in a pinch. Justin Fields has been a top 7 quarterback in all but one of his full games. If he is the starter for the Jets against the Bengals, he just runs you to fantasy victory, even though he's not good. And especially if Tyrod Taylor can't play, so they can't bench Fields at some point during the game, you could go there against the Bengals. That's an option. The Bears, Kyle Monangai, coming off a breakout game last week in which he had 15 touches, and they're starting to use him in a way that reminds me of David Montgomery. For Ben Johnson, starting to get to a stage where he's putting together his 1-2 punch guys. He had a 39% touch rate, which is the highest for Kyle Monangai's, by a mile for his career. And DeAndre Swift has got a groin injury at the moment, and it looks like he's going to go, but they're building this 1-2 punch here, and this could be an opportunity. Baltimore Ravens run defense have been terrible all season long, so Kyle Monangai might be a guy you could pick up. And the last 2 guys I'm going to mention, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, available in roughly 50 and 70% of leagues, respectively, going up against the Dallas secondary. They've allowed the most fantasy points to wide receivers. So those are some deep dive guys that you could try to pick up off the waiver wire.
Okay. Is this real with Bo Nix from a fantasy standpoint?
He just posted the highest scoring fantasy game of any quarterback this year. Almost all in the fourth quarter, as you guys know. And by the way, about that game, the part of the game, and it's been analyzed a lot, people breaking it down lots of different ways. How could the Giants possibly do this? How did the Broncos come back? Nobody talking enough about what a terrible decision by Brian Daboll when he was up 19-0 to go for 2. Why? Just take the extra point. Now, granted, his kicker, he's got a replacement kicker, but still, I didn't understand it at the time, and I still don't understand it now.
We missed 2,
I can understand if you're. Yeah, he missed. Now, at that point, he hadn't missed 2. He'd only missed 1 at that point. Okay. And maybe he just knew that his kicker was that bad. But still, I just think that was an inexplicable decision. If you're down by 19, I could see it more easily. But if you're up by 19, I don't see how you take points off the board. But this week, Bo Nix is not going to have a regression against Dallas. Think about this. Against opposing quarterbacks, one defense has done this. Most passing yards allowed, most passing touchdowns allowed, most quarterback rushes allowed, most quarterback rushing yards allowed, and most quarterback rushing touchdowns allowed, all against the same defense. Bo Nix could potentially be sitting on a great game. Did you guys hear this stat? Highest scoring, the best producing offense by yards is Dallas, and the second best producing offense is whoever's playing Dallas.
Oh, that's so good. Wow. Oh,
so good.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Average 30, give up 30.
Yeah. I bet under 41.5 Niners and Houston. It's not looking good here for this entire Texans offense, especially maybe this week, right? Because we got news yesterday of the Christian Kirk hammy and Nico Collins concussion now.
Right. So he had the concussion Monday night. So short week. I don't think he's going to clear the protocol. That means there's really basically nobody left to play in this Houston offense, at least from a fantasy standpoint. Most of the problem with Houston falls on this awful offensive line that ranks 29th in pass block win rate, 28th in run block win rate. And there's one guy who's just not getting enough heat in my mind, Houston GM Nick Caserio, who 3 years ago, he gets a historic rookie season from CJ Stroud. Right? You finally get what every general manager is trying to do. Get your young franchise quarterback on his rookie deal and be able to just sit back for 10 years and enjoy the fruits of your great rookie quarterback. Never bothered to protect him. Gave him terrible production. He traded away Laramie Tunsil, who granted was overpaid and didn't produce that well, but he's better than anybody on the line right now. It's terrible. The runners, Nick Chubb, Woody Marks, have nowhere to go with the ball. Christian Kirk, you mentioned, not playing. And if Nico Collins is out, it's all over for them. I can't start any Houston Texans given how things are shaping up there. And guys, for all the talking we've done about this strata of bad teams in the NFL, right? Like the Jets and Houston, like Tennessee, Las Vegas, Cleveland. Houston's right here in this mix. Their defense is good, but this offense is so bad they are candidates to lose every week. Okay.
How about what's going on in Chicago? Is this running game real with Swift and what they've done the last couple of weeks?
I think it is. I love what Ben Johnson's building. Easy to say, they won 4 in a row, right? So, it looks like it's all offense and defense, by the way. And they're going to get Jalen Johnson back. I mean, he's defense's best player is going to be coming back for the first time this year within a week or two. So things are starting to come together there. What I really like, I already mentioned earlier, love that he's putting together Monangai, Swift. That's starting to work. The offensive line's blocking has been fantastic. Remember, they had the most improved offensive line, or looked like it would be coming in to the into the season from last year. And the offensive line for the Bears has just been fantastic. And it's all starting to come together for the Bears right now in a way that is going to make them, honestly, over the past month, they've looked as good as any team in NFC North, and I include the Lions with that.
Wow,
and better than the Packers and Vikings.
Yep. Paul Charchian, our guest, Fantasy Football Hall of Famer. Website is guillotineleagues.com. What are your thoughts on Alvin Kamara at this point? And Kendre Miller is now out for the year. Devin Neal is the guy that I have circled as someone maybe I should be picking up this week.
Correct. Yep, he is a pickup this week for sure. Devin Neal's a really fun stash because I think he's going to get his time. Okay, and first of all, I'm not shoveling dirt on Kamara's grave, right? But eye test says he doesn't look like the same guy. I'm watching this last month of games, like, this is not the Alvin Kamara I know. But now let's put some metrics against it. Hasn't topped 70 rushing yards all year. Hasn't scored since week 1. Kamara, over the past 5 weeks, averaging barely 3 yards per carry and 29th in yards after contact. I mean, we can all remember highlight plays with Alvin Kamara shredding dudes. And also disappointing is one of the league's best dual threat runners. He's getting just 18 receiving yards per game. That's not the Alvin Kamara that we know. And I'm not saying Kamara's never going to have another good game, but the schedule's tough. He doesn't look like the same guy. Alvin Kamara, from a fantasy standpoint, is not an automatic start anymore. Devin Neal may find himself in a position And this is the rookie from Kansas, who's basically their whole offense. Amazing footwork, can make guys miss, doesn't have the straight line speed that Kamara's got, but he's got the receiving chops. So he can walk into a lot of those third down opportunities. We saw Kamara yielding time to Kendre Miller. Now I think he's going to start yielding time to Devin Neal. And there's a scenario here where just time is caught up to Kamara. I don't think he's going to get traded, but maybe does. Just go get Devin Neal and let's play this thing out for a few weeks and see if Devin Neal doesn't end up making an impact here.
Love it. You're going to hang around for one more segment, but we can sneak this in, I think. Should we all be high, either picking him up if he's available, playing him this week, and looking to bet Mason Taylor props rookie tight end for the Jets?
Yes, this is an amazing opportunity. The Bengals have allowed, get this, the most receiving yards to tight ends and 9 touchdowns to the position already. Most teams don't give up 9 touchdowns to tight ends all year long. The fact the Bengals have done this already is staggering ineptitude. And what we've seen over the years is this is a defensive scheme that's hard to course correct in season. Teams that are bad, really bad against tight ends usually stay that way. It's a fantastic opportunity for Mason Taylor, who, keep in mind, especially if Garrett Wilson doesn't play, he may not play, this passing offense might go through the rookie for the Jets.
Great point. Yeah, those 9 touchdowns, 3 more than the next team in the league. That's incredible. And we have more with Paul Charchian coming up next. He's given out 3 straight anytime touchdown scores for Thursday Night Football. Find out which player he likes tonight. Chargers hosting the Vikings next here on VSiN.
At Boar's we make game day entertaining elevated and effortless. Whether you order catering platters ahead from your local deli or create your own spread with premium deli meats and cheeses, you're sure to impress your guests with the very best. Fan favorites like Oven Gold Turkey, paired with our classic Vermont cheddar, are sure to score big. Game-winning flavor in every bite. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
Did you know that skincare can start in the laundry room? All Free Clear is the #1 laundry detergent brand recommended by dermatologists, allergists, and pediatricians for sensitive skin. All Free Clear is 100% free of dyes and perfumes. It provides an effective clean that's gentle on skin while removing impurities like dirt and body oil without leaving irritating residues. Plus, All Free Clear liquid is Safer Choice certified by the U.S. EPA. For a clean you can feel good about, all you need is All Free Clear.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. Here on a Thursday, busy hour on tap. We're going to get to the Thursday Night Football game coming up in 15 minutes. Some angles and bets that we like on it, and we will dive back into the big bombshell today from the NBA where you have a coach and a player involved. The coach was in an illegal poker operation tied into the mafia. Unbelievable today. After last night, the true opening night for the NBA, and you wake up to this news today.
Yeah. What those crime families mentioned as well.
Oh, man.
Gambino, Bonanno, Genovese crime families, illegal poker game. What the hell's going on?
Chauncey, don't take the phone call like you were saying earlier, Paulie. Right now we head out to the Progressive Guest Line. We'll get some best bets in the soccer world as the meat man Steve Wist joins the program now. He is with the Nordic Football Pod and Because We Win. Meat man, good to talk to you as always. How you been?
Hey, guys. Yeah, been pretty good, thanks. Hope you're well. Looking forward to the show as always.
Same here. Love having you on the program. Let's begin with a prim play tomorrow on Friday, and you want to attack Leeds and West Ham. What is your play?
Yeah, under 2.5 goals at -125. I took the under in both of these teams' matches last week, and they both cashed. And it's the same old story, really. I mean, let's start with West Ham because their performance on Monday against Brentford was horrendous. It was one of the worst performances I've seen in the Premier League. They certainly didn't look like scoring. And, the new manager, Nuno Espirito Santo's come in. I've said before, he's known for defensive tactics and low-scoring games. 3 matches in charge, 3 games under 2.5 goals. No surprise to me. Mm-hmm. Just going to keep backing that trend while we're getting good odds on it. And Leeds, my own team, the big problem is you just don't really fancy anyone in the Leeds team to score from open play. I think we could maybe see Leeds score from a set piece in this game, from a corner or something. West Ham are not very good dealing with corners. So my best guess is Leeds 1-0. The 0-0 is a possibility. One stat that is going under the radar is that Leeds United's defence is the 4th best expected goals against in the league, which is sneaky good, actually. So I think we can be quite confident West Ham don't score. Under 2.5 goals looks a very, very good bet here at -125. We could see quite a lot of chances missed in the game.
Love it. Last week you had a winner with Chelsea. Now this Leeds game's tomorrow, as you mentioned. Saturday we're going to Chelsea again, and you think Chelsea puts it on Sunderland?
I really love Chelsea right now. I backed them last night on the handicap -2, and they won 5-1 against Ajax. They hammered Forest last week 3-0. Mm-hmm. They're in great form, and they only got to cover a -1.25 Asian handicap here, which basically means if they win by a 2-goal margin or more, you're going to win your play. If they win by exactly 1 goal, you'll only lose half your stake, which is a nice bit of insurance. They're playing a newly promoted team at home. Chelsea have the biggest squad in the Premier League. They rotate players all the time. They can nearly name a second string 11 like they did in midweek against Ajax and rest all their top players. So they're going to be fully fresh and ready to go. Sunderland have performed quite well since coming into the Premier League, but most of their best results have been at home. They've yet to face a team inside the top 6, Sunderland. So I think, with all due respect, they've yet to be properly tested by a seriously high-caliber team, and this is going to be the first examination. They've only scored 1 away goal all season, Sunderland, despite how good they've been. They lost at Burnley. I think Chelsea will do a very professional job and win quite comfortably. 2-0, you're looking at 2-0, 3-0, maybe even 4-0 in this sort of match. I think it's a massive gulf in class between the teams, and I think we're getting line value just because Sunderland are a little bit overrated now. So we've got to take that while we can. In addition to Chelsea, as I said at the minute, I'm absolutely in love with them. I think they're a bet in most matches right now.
Okay, what are you doing with Man United and Brighton?
I'm opposing Manchester United because there's one team who can never, ever back up a good result the next week is Manchester United. They beat Liverpool last week, and that was a big shock.
Yes.
Whenever they do this sort of result before, the next match is always a flat performance. There's a guy out there, you'd have probably seen it on X. He can't cut his hair until Man United have won 5 consecutive games. Let's just say his hair is like what Michael Jackson was in the early 80s. It's massive and afro and everything. I think he's going to be waiting quite a long time. I'm going to take Brighton here, draw no bet. Brighton are a very good team when they're an underdog against the sort of the big sides. They raise their level when they're given more space. They've won their last 3 trips to Old Trafford. So they've got a great history in the head-to-head. They won 5 of the last 7 matches against Man United. I think Brighton can at very worst get a draw here. I'm going to oppose Manchester United because traditionally in the last few years, they very rarely, the last time they won 3 matches in a row was in January. And they rarely win 2 games in a row, which is the run they're on now. They're not going to make it 3 in a row. So I think it's quite a safe bet. And at plus 150, some very generous value, I think Brighton can take it to Man United here and spring the so-called shock. But I wouldn't be shocked.
Follow the Money, Paulie and Mitch VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. The Meat Man, our guest on the Progressive Guest Line, Because We Win Pod. Also the Nordic Soccer Podcast as well. Follow Meat Man Soccer on X, 3 and 2 last week. Let's go to Sunday. 0-0 detector out again. 2.5 is the goals with Wolves and Burnley.
Yeah, you called it there, Paulie. This I think will be the worst game of the Premier League round. 2 really poor teams against each other. It's going to be dire entertainment, and under 2.5 goals makes a lot of sense. Burnley, they're a very defensive team. Mentioned it last week. These 2 teams have the worst expected goals in the Premier League, by the way, so we're not expecting much from the offences. Burnley's defence is not too bad. You can't judge Burnley on their away matches so far. They face Spurs, Manchester United, Man City and Villa All those matches have gone over 2.5 goals. But this is a completely different test. This is by far their easiest away match yet because Wolves are winless. They lack confidence. They lack goals. There's no way I would back Wolves at minus money here. That's what the odds they are. In fact, Burnley could look a big price. But you'd maybe have to go on the handicap or draw no bet because, like you said, the 0-0 detector is in operation. Let's not overcomplicate it here. This back straight over to under 2.5 goals at minus 161. It looks one of the bankers of the week, really. Just don't see where the goals are coming from.
Yep. A request would be if we can get more lower league plays. I don't want you to force anything, but I love the lower leagues. And we've talked about this team for a couple years now, this club, and they've killed some people here, burned them big. MK Dons. Do they have their act together? Let's go to League Two. What do you think of MK?
Yeah, I nearly give you Coventry, actually, -1 in the Championship. I like them.
Oh, good.
MK Dons draw no better. Bromley, I don't really know what I'm missing here because MK Dons have suddenly found form. An infuriating team for a lot of bettors out there in the last 2 years. This is the best squad in League Two, though, easily. I think they might go on and win this division now. And you can take them on this draw no bet handicap away to Bromley. Bromley are unbeaten at home, but have had 4 draws out of 6. But that doesn't matter. If it's a draw, we're not going to lose any money whatsoever. MK Dons are unbeaten away from home, 4 wins and 2 draws. They've won 4 games in a row, and it's just the way they've been playing. They're suddenly scoring a lot of goals. They're looking the confident team that we expected them to be. And, Bromley just 1 win in 7. And the chances of you actually losing this bet is not very high at all. MK Dons are scoring goals for fun as well. 12 goals in their last 4 games. I can't look beyond them here. I think this is an away win. Michael Cheek is a good striker for Bromley. They might get on the scoreboard, Bromley, but MK Dons have got more than enough firepower to get the job done. And like I said, the Championship play I would go with would be Coventry -1. Coventry are playing some really, really good soccer right now in the English Championship.
Very good. Do you think MK Dons would qualify as your best bet of the week? Would it be? It sounded like you were really high in Chelsea, though, as well.
Oh, I love that Chelsea bet. I love that Wolves under, and I love this one. I mean, in terms of actual security, your chances of losing this bet on the draw no bet handicap, Mitch, is so low, isn't it? That I would probably just have to go with this one. But Chelsea should show their class against Sunderland.
Very good. You can follow Steve on X. He's at Meatman Soccer. A couple of podcasts here, the Nordic Football Pod, and Because We Win as well. And he joined us on the Progressive Guest Line. Meatman, you're the best. Thanks for the time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next week.
You got it.
Very good.
Appreciate you. Are you expecting fireworks tonight?
Kind of, yeah.
I expect a high-scoring game. I really do. And I think there's a lot of crazy stuff that can cash tonight if you look at all your props.
Can I give you a couple of reasons why?
I think it's going to be similar to last week. I called my shot last week, and it delivered. I think both quarterbacks can eat. I'm going to run down the tight ends. There's too much firepower here offensively and too many issues defensively for both squads.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think, first of all, look no further than the Minnesota defense.
Yeah.
They are, I think we have to call them completely fugazi. I mean, the defense at the beginning of the year, first of all, I was fine with McCarthy. I had absolute trust in Kevin Connor to make it work, KOC. And I thought guy's a borderline genius going back the last 2 years. Darnold had the best year ever. The year before that was actually maybe even more impressive. And I love Brian Flores as a DC, and I thought with their personnel on defense, it's going to be a hell of a 1-2 combination. And I hate my chances with my future bets on this team now, and I think the defense and how weak it is to this point is a big reason why. Wentz moved it last week. Bad issues in the red zone and also the pick six. And look at the Charger games going back. Look at that Colts game. Look at what they couldn't stop Miami. No, they could not. And they should have blown out Miami, who had 3 picks, but they also had to settle for a lot of field goals, and they were bad in the red zone as well. So between Allen and Gadsden and Johnston, who Charge likes, and what Minnesota has with their weapons, and what the Colts did to the Charger defense. You going to go to war with Kicker the Dicker? I can't do it anymore. I can't do it because of the issues. And do they have to play from behind? Are they forced to go for it on 4th down? Well, at home. He's had a couple losers, though. And he's also had the early field goal, and that's been it. What happens if you're in an accident and the other driver doesn't have insurance or not nearly enough? You're the one stuck with the bills, repairs, and lost wages. That's where Lasso Injury Law steps in.
They know the ins and outs of uninsured and underinsured motorist claims, and they fight to make sure you're not left paying for someone else's mistake. Lasso Injury Law is there for you, 702-625-8777. Free consultation, no voicemail, lassoinjurylaw.com, 702-625-8777. Al's the real deal, the best.
All right, so player projections at vsin.com are high on one quarterback, low on the other. We'll give you the numbers next.
Did you know that skincare can start in the laundry room? All Free Clear is the #1 laundry detergent brand recommended by dermatologists, allergists, and pediatricians for sensitive skin. All Free Clear is 100% free of dyes and perfumes. It provides an effective clean that's gentle on skin while removing impurities like dirt and body oil without leaving irritating residues. Plus, All Free Clear Liquid is Safer Choice certified by the U.S. EPA. For a clean you can feel good about, all you need is All Free Clear.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains Efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.